So today I'm looking at this Manitowoc IY 2176C. It's a remote ice machine, dual evaporator. Apparently it's making sheets of ice that are also thick and cloudy. Inside the storage bin, we can see the ice. That is the sheet that just dropped. Yes, it does look a little thick and the cubes are not formed completely. Let's see what it looks like from this side. So all of the cubes are incomplete and everything in this bin looks about the same. Thick and cubes that aren't fully formed. So I'm going to take off the front panel, and I did notice that the machine is in safe mode, which just means that it experienced some type of error. I cleared the ice so that the dampers close, and then I hit the power button so the machine turned off. What I normally like to do is just check a couple things. The ice thickness probe in here, make sure it's set correctly. I pulled this back to look at the evaporators, make sure that they're in good condition. I'm also going to navigate this touchpad, go to my service menu and look at what type of errors we have. So water fault error 999 times, something's wrong with my water probe, and safe mode. So that is a pretty quick diagnosis. I know just off the top of my head that I'm going to be looking at either this or slow water fill. I don't know which one yet, but I'm going to figure it out relatively quick. You can also use this touchpad to go to what is it? Where's my service menu at? Service, real-time data, inputs, and it'll tell you what's going on with your water. So water low, water high. As the machine fills with water and then uses the water, these will change between no and yes. And once they do something that they're not supposed to do, it'll point me in the right direction. I'm going to turn the machine on, time a cycle, see what happens, and go from there. We are in pre-chill now. This is when the water tank fills up with water, or the water trough, and the water is flowing into the evaporator, but it is pretty slow. I'm wondering if it'll fill up in time and what will happen with these two while it's filling and going through pre-chill. I'm gonna try to find some water filters or the water valve, which probably buried back there somewhere. So we just cycled into freeze, and neither my high or my low water level probes have touched water. So it's taken more than 2 minutes at least to fill with water. The water is still coming in. My water actually goes this way, goes through the wall, so it's in the other room. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get over there. I'm gonna watch the machine and just see what happens. I cleared the errors out of the event log. I'm gonna see which ones pop up. More than likely water fault. It's just not filling with water fast enough. Made it to the other side of the wall, found my water filters. Unfortunately, there's no pressure gauge on there, but I'm assuming that they're clogged up and needing to be changed. Additionally, the ice machine's been in freeze for almost 8 minutes. High level or low level of the water sensor hasn't touched water yet, and the water inlet valve has been energized the entire time. So obviously that's an issue. Let me speak to the customer, see if she wants me to swap out these water filters or not. 15 minutes into freeze, still not sensing water, and water inlet valve is still energized. Kind of crazy. I think we're actually getting ready to go into harvest based off the amount of ice that's built up. But the ugly cubes and the cloudy ice is just because the machine's constantly filling with new water the entire freeze cycle. Another thing to note, the reason why the ice is thick is because the constant influx of new water melts the top part of the sheet of ice, and then the bottom part of the sheet of ice is nice and thick. So that's why it's thick and cloudy. Same thing on this side. Eventually it'll go into harvest. And so water stopped flowing in, and then shortly after, the machine cycled into harvest. You can see what the sheet of ice looks like, thin on the top, thick on the bottom. These never went from no to yes, but the ice is gonna fall. I cleared the event log earlier, but I'm sure if we go back and we look at it, it'll probably have logged, there you go, logged one waterfall. So I'm gonna go next door and bypass the water filters and see what that does to our water fill time. So I went next door and I pulled the two top O-rings off of those water filters. And what that does is just bypasses the water filter just to see what happens with the ice machine and see if that's the issue. Water low just went from no to yes, and then water high just went from no to yes. We haven't even come out of pre-chill yet. We're still in, we're still in pre-chill, haven't gone into freeze, and that's a good sign. That means that the water filters are the issue. I'm going to close this up and talk to the customer about replacing the filters. And I'm actually gonna go put my O-rings back on there because I'd rather you have filtered water for your ice. Quick little recap. Manitowoc ice machine making cloudy and thick ice. Issue for this one is clogged water filters. The machine had water faults logged and safe modes logged in the event log. Just meaning safe mode is, hey, something's wrong with either the ice thickness probe or the water level sensor. And then the water fault is, hey, there's something specifically wrong with the water level sensor. In this case, the water level sensor was working properly. It just wasn't sensing water in the set amount of time that it was supposed to. The water was actually energized. The water inlet valve was basically energized the entire freeze cycle. As soon as the water inlet valve de-energized off of its maximum energized time, which I think it's like 2 different periods of max 7-minute fill times, the machine cycled into harvest and dropped ice. If the machine was left to run that way for a period of time longer, what would happen is the machine would eventually just fail altogether and stop making ice. So the customer has some special water filters that I don't carry, and I'm going to send them a quote, and more than likely they're going to change them out on their own because that's the way they roll. icemachine411@gmail.com. Email me, become a channel member if you feel so inclined. Group chat on Patreon, Ice Machine 411 on Patreon. We'll see you on the next video.